Hello again, and here I am standing in front of a car park. Well, you'll see why I'm standing in front of a car park in a minute, because I'm going to flip the camera because I'm now at the main Calanais site. So here we go. There we go, that's the main circle at the top there. We'll zoom in. Where we are right now is the northernmost part of the site, which is the foot of the cross. If you've seen a diagram of the Calanais site, you know it's laid out in a cross shape. And here's the stones at the end of that alleyway. These two. I think one thing that struck me here, more than I've seen at other stone circles I've been to, is just how impressive the individual stones are. It's not just about what they make up together, because you go to Stonehenge, you can't actually get close to the actual stones at Stonehenge. But here they're made of Lewisian gneiss, which is Gneiss, which is apparently, see, I've been to the visitor centre earlier, so I know this, one of the oldest forms of rock on Earth. It's formed about 3 billion years ago, which sort of puts this site into context as being about 5,000 years old, so it's 1,000,000 times older than the site it's on. So, but this was formed, and so it's been crushed and rolled and had so much else mixed in with it over the years, and you get these amazing patterns. And it seems like here it looks almost, some of these long lines, and you can see those folds of the earth in it. So we walk up this northern alleyway, where some of the stones are missing. That could be a fallen one there. But a pretty good job of surviving for however many thousand years, really. But yeah, it just says you get. You come around here now. I'm trying to remember which one it is. It's this one. So you've got all this stones embedded in it. It's quartz-like mica, I think. I'm not a geologist. Sound off if you're a geologist. Yeah, you see that all just embedded in there, mixed in, and then span out from the earth and erected here. And then this one here, it looks almost like the sort of pattern you get on wood. It knots and twists, and then you got coming down here, and I think that's some sort of metallic rust. I could be completely wrong, like I say, not a geologist. But I think one thing I've done is go around here is not to sort of go, oh look, the whole thing's impressive, but actually look at each individual stone, because all the evidence is that this was erected over hundreds of years. And so one theory I sort of throwing in the head is that each one is let's say the word erection. Each erection of each stone was an act in its own right. It wasn't just we're building the next part of this overall complex. Each one on its own, they go together, but each one says something. Each one is almost in its way, it's a piece of art. It's someone taking something, placing it there for others to see and saying this means something. I have taken this space and I've put a frame around it and I call this art. And you can imagine that sort of thing, is that you'd walk along here maybe and they'd tell stories about each of the stones. See there, let's go back to yourself to that one. You see, look at the patterning on that. You can see so many different things in the patterns if you want to. But you can just imagine, you walk up along here and there'd be stories about the stones, a generation, like maybe a couple of generations ago we raised that one. Your grandfather's grandfather's grandfather was putting this one after they killed a bear, whatever. There'd be stories as you came along here. It wouldn't just be a gate. They weren't just markers. Each one was a place in its own right. Until you finally get to the end. Up here, you see. And then finally, past all these, you see. Actually, there's one over here that was really nice. But you see, that's the main circle in the centre. You've got the monolith, you've got the cairn, the chambered cairn, descriptions will say, down below it, which was built and then demolished as practices changed. Then you've got those all gathering around that central place. But then look at this. Just look at the patterns on that. Think of how that's going to change over the years. In different weathers, as that moss grows and lichen and all that just comes in and gives it these different colours. It's going to, this is on a grey day, and think how much that's going to catch the sun. There's golden, coppery bits up there. How that's going to look on a sunny day, or like when there's, when there's just been rain, because that's not going around here. How it's going to look there, glistening under that sunlight. But again, it's just one of these things with place. It's just the stories. It's it's a story in itself, but each one of these would have had tales told about it. There's the one legend that these are all giants who are turned to stone because they refused to convert to Christianity. Except they were around for 2,000 years before there was any Christianity. But still, we find our stories. You see the patterns on these? This is another one, it's almost like a tree. You've got those little whorls and knots you might get in the wood. And someone thousands of years ago decided, this is the one we want to keep. This is the one we want to put on show. This is our art. This is our story. This is what we're going to pass down to, they'd have thought generations to come. Would they have thought we'd have been here 5,000 years later? Don't know. Probably not. If they even had a concept of 5,000 years. We could even grasp that. Can we grasp what we might leave for 5,000 years' time? Well, lots of plastic in the oceans. Maybe someone will find a story in that. But so this is the main. Let's go into the centre here. It's the heart of Calanais. And it's down in the middle, and then down there. And it all leads, we've been leading up all the way, and there's that. There you can see. There's a rocky outcrop up there, which must have formed part of it in some way. It all seems to lead up towards that. When you look at it, you can maybe just about in the distance there, you can see where the houses are. You can probably see bits of Calanais II in the bottom there, and Calanais III. I'm trying to pick them out myself now. There's Calanais III on the top of a ridge there, and then Calanais II is in the bits below. But here's the land all around. Again. Right, my arm's getting tired and cramped. God, no minutes. So anyway, that's Calanais for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed this little story and this edition. And however many thousands of years in the future you may be watching this, I hope the story was interesting enough.